Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Death Wish Hot Rods and Customs. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup.
Hey, this is Trevor Sternad from the Black Dahlia Murder here, and you're listening to the Everblack Podcast.
Hey, human skull, this is odorous from Guam.
Going to the Fear Factory.
This is George Corsh Under Fisher.
This is Gas from Devil Drop.
This is Wade from Our Last Enemy.
Mike Nick from Suicidal Tendencies.
Hey, this is Wednesday 13.
This is
Rex from Kill Devil Hill.
This is Gary Lee from Sepultura. You're listening to Everblack Podcast.
Markus, mate,
How
it's
are
good
you?
to see you again. Good, man. What's happening?
I'm fine so far. A bit of nothing to do at the moment, just doing interviews, but the crazy situation is not allowing us to do anything but hanging around and doing interviews, you know.
Oh, mate, I could imagine. Are you guys on lockdown over there still?
Yeah, well, the numbers are sinking a little, but we're still not allowed traveling, and you got to go in quarantine if you go back home, and it's not really possible to rehearse or to hook up together, and so we're sitting here waiting for something to do, you know. But bars are opening now a little, so a couple of days ago I had my first drafted beer.
Oh, mate, it would have tasted like absolute gold. It would have been the best in the world.
I just ordered two, and one went right away.
Oh.
The other one was for enjoying.
Don't blame me. Don't blame me, mate. Well, of course, the new self-titled Helloween album comes out on June 18, and this thing is such a fun record, and not just for a metal record. It's got heaps of layers and those catchy hooks and big choruses. But I feel like this is one of your best albums. There's definitely
Thank you.
very
Thank you. It was all worth it, you know. It was a lot of work. It was like a lot of work with two more people coming in, throwing even more ideas at you while you were playing and arranging. It's not making it easier, but it's fun, you know. It's a lot of ideas coming at you, and you got to sort out what's the best for the song, you know. But in the end of the day, it was all worth it, you know. It took longer because there was so much more ideas and songs, you know, because like having 5 songwriters in the band, there's a lot of stuff coming at you. There's a lot of stuff to work with, even to figure out what's best for the album, you know.
well, as you mentioned before. I mean, you even got Michael back as a vocalist alongside Andy as well. Like, man, how did that come about? That's awesome.
I kind of liked it a lot because when I heard it, when Andy said, well, he didn't have a problem. He doesn't have a problem with having another singer aside of him. I was just like, yeah, let's go for it. It's something very, very challenging, you know, something very fresh and new for us. And having Kai there singing as well, you know, it's been like a real big surprise for me listening to the album for the very first time, because I was not involved into the decision who's going to sing on what part and all that, you know. It was done by probably 3 singers and some producers or something like this. So for me, it was a really big surprise listening to it. Really, really interesting to me as well, you know.
It's going to sound incredible. I mean, you did the Pumpkins United tour, but now with the new material, when you hit the road, it's going to sound incredible. There's stuff on vocally and musically on this thing that I think is really fresh. And that's why I said I think it's absolutely one of your best albums. I think you guys have, even after all these years, you've written something that's quite special, and I feel lucky I've heard it.
Yeah, it's like everybody had like the enthusiasm was like growing each minute, you know, and everybody was like satisfied with it. I mean, although it was a lot of work, in the end of the day, we were all surprised, you know, listening back to what the mix was saying and the final mastering was doing, you know. We were just like amazed about it, and it was like a long time preparing, and then month of writing and recording and mixing, and then hearing the result was amazing for us, you know.
Was it difficult, you know, because you recorded it and everything before everything went crazy, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
2019. So was there a moment there where you guys were like, "Oh man, this thing isn't going to come out. There's no music anymore." Like,
Well, it wasn't like this. Having, as I said, two more people coming in throwing ideas at you all the time. You needed to focus what the song really needs, because we had 10 times more ideas than
yeah,
you hear on the record, and we're trying out parts for the songs in this key or this part. The other one is coming, another guy is coming up with a different part, and they were all good. You needed somebody like Dennis was there as a co-producer, and Charlie was there telling us, all right, this is all good, but what the song really needs, what the song is really asking for, is this and that and this and that, with a fresh ear, not being a composer. That was cool, having those two guys in there, sorting it all out, telling us, all right, this is a cool song, but it doesn't need actually this part or that part to be a good song. It's always good to have some fresh ears, being a little outside.
absolutely, absolutely. But I mean, with the COVID stuff, did you fear that it wasn't?
Oh, all right. No, well, that was a bit. We luckily we're actually used to record albums like this before.
Yeah.
Andy was singing in his studio. I was recording in the bass in my studio. After the drums was done in some studio somewhere, we were like moving around files, and I got back to the producer, putting it all together. We kind of used to this work, but then the main work, actually, we were still allowed to work out in Hamburg in a studio as a band with like 10 people, including the producers and all that, because that's where we kind of arranged the whole thing. And after that, it wasn't allowed to go back into it wasn't allowed to hook up with 10 people anyway. So luckily we were able to arrange all that before we started recordings.
Mate, so lucky. The album cover as well is incredible. I love that, and how you've the key, you got the keeper in there.
Yeah.
What was the idea of bringing that concept back in, and how does that tie in with this album and the 7-key concept and everything like that?
It's not as colorful. It's more the classical kind of an old picture or something,
Yes.
Of an old classical churchy kind of epic picture, which is fitting the Skyfall concept in a way, but still you have the keeper, you have some elements from other records in there, which I kind of really like.
Yeah, me too.
The idea of combining it in a way with a totally different color concept.
Sorry, you're just cutting out a bit there. Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, all right. I can hear you. Okay. I wasn't.
Yeah,
I was kind of cut out.
Yeah, that's all right. I got it, but it just cut out.
All right.
That's what happens when as I say, we're on the arse end of the world down here. That's what happens. We're one step away of cans and string going up through.
All right.
But what I did see that someone has already gotten the artwork tattooed on them. That's insane.
Oh, I didn't see that. Is that the case?
Yeah, it was on the Instagram.
Oh, okay. I gotta watch it then. Maybe he had it before.
Well, it looked pretty damn fresh to me. Look, I'm gonna.
Yeah, all right.
Hey, look at that. Yeah, someone.
Right. I see this guy. I've got to spend him a couple of beers.
Yeah, man. I don't know who it is, but it's on your Instagram. I mean, it looks incredible. So they've spent a bit of coin on this for sure. But have you got any Helloween tattoos yourself?
Not yet, really. Not yet, really. Maybe later, because you go and tattoo yourself in crazy times like this,
It's not really bad.
I gotta look for some space on my skin already.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But I also like you got the special edition versions as well. This is something I haven't seen for a while. The one comes with a clock.
Sorry, the one.
There's
again,
a version
please?
that comes with a clock, a Helloween wall clock. No band's done. I haven't seen one of them in years. That's incredible.
You mean on the artwork?
No. There's like a special edition that you guys are releasing.
All right. I know what you're talking about. There's loads of editions we got in several colors like this. Maybe a little bit like little time and the clock and the watch is a little part of Helloween with a little time and stuff like this. And it's a very classical motive. I think it's cool. It means be right there when we come to your town.
I need to get it so I can put it on my wall here because it looks awesome. I need to get it. I'll have to do the process. But I mean, there's so many great tracks on this. My favorite, though, without spoiling it for everyone, is a Robot King. Everyone who knows me, you can't really see here, but my room here is filled with big, giant fucking robots. So I'm all about it, man. So what's that one about? I mean, I'm sure it's knowing you guys, it's not as straightforward as.
No, I wasn't going through all those lyrics again. I have to say, I was very lazy and just listening to the song, not really taken the story yet. But I was just like, I have to read the lyrics again. I have to admit, really.
It's a good one.
Next time I do.
Yeah, I mean, like it's such a great album. And I mean, Skyfall, the first single, when that dropped, that smashed the charts like everywhere.
Yeah, this is the story of that guy crashing onto Earth and to the Area 51, where everything is very secretly done, and they want to test the little guy who's driving the machine, and our singer, of course, comes up as a hero, saving this guy, trying to bring him back home and stuff again. I like the little story behind it,
It's cool. It is cool.
But it's not like a concept like The Keeper. It's not related to the whole album. It's just closed in itself,
Yeah. But do you believe in that stuff? Have you seen a UFO yourself?
No, I didn't see one. but well, it might be very arrogant thinking that humankind is like the only living kind of creature in this form, living in a whole galaxy that we can imagine. I think there might be something above our imagination that's also very cool. You know what I mean? It's hard to describe, but
I wonder if they've got metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, beyond our imagination, there's definitely something that we don't know. I guess.
I love it. But
beyond the beyond. What's beyond the beyond?
That's right. I hope there's metal and beers there. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Something cool, I guess. If it's intelligent life, they probably don't try to contact us because we destroy a lot.
Yeah, that's. I had that conversation with someone the other day. It's like, man, they don't give a shit about us. They're like, these.
Leave them there. They're gone soon anyway if they carry on like this.
That's it. They're just watching us on their little TVs, going, "Oh man, they're doing it. They're doing that shit again."
Yeah, and thinking they're calling themselves intelligent. Strange.
We're the #1 comedy show in the universe. That's right.
Yeah, they're watching it and having a big laugh.
But I mean,
and I think they're watching us, are thinking the dogs might be the leading life form, because in Germany people running after the dogs, collecting their shit, throwing it into the trash cans.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
They have these little plastic bags. It's not allowed for dogs to leave it there, so people run behind their dogs, collecting the shit and putting it into the garbage can. That's what happened in Germany.
I need to see this.
I don't have a dog.
No, that's in Germany.
Because they're not allowed to just leave it there. So many people get dogs.
That's it. That's right. Well, I mean, we got dogs here, but they we do it here too. Anyway, of course, I mean, Helloween's been such a massive influence on so many bands, and you can hear it, especially with a lot of bands that have made a name for themselves throughout the years. You can hear that little Helloween DNA. But even down here, there's a band called Lord down here. Have you heard of them? They
Lord,
cover
no, not
Lord.
yet. Lord,
Yeah, man,
no, not yet.
they're incredible. And they released a live cover of "I Want Out" on their covers album recently.
Oh, all right. Are they covering or are they doing their own kind of stuff?
Well, it was their interpretations of all different songs that they love.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it was called Undercovers Volume 1, and it's got them on the front hiding from a demon undercovers. But, you know, the point is, I mean, we're all the way down here in Australia, and you guys have had such a massive impact even down here. I mean, how does that make you feel knowing that, you know, your music is out there having that impact?
It's a nice feeling. It gives me the chance coming over to you, tasting your beer and your bars and your environment. I kind of like that, you know, being there. I mean, we've been there like twice, I guess, yet a couple of years ago. I think 10. It's really a couple of years ago, but I kind of liked it hanging around in the bars where like AC/DC started their music, where Roaster 2 started their music, where Coach Chisel and Jimmy Barnes started their business. It was cool hanging around in those clubs. I'm sure they must have been played in those clubs too, you know.
Yeah.
In their very, very early days. It kind of got me in a good mood.
Well, it's funny, isn't it, that Australia seems to have that reverse, that influence on the rest of the world too. Like you rattled off, you know, some of our biggest acts there that, you know, I'm sure when they were, you know, young dudes going, who's going to hear us, you know, all the way over in Germany. You know what I mean?
Is Airborne from Australia too?
Yes, but here's the thing: they're massive over there. They're massive over.
Yeah, I guess so. I saw them on a couple of festivals. They're good. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff coming from your island, so to say.
From the very big world, yeah.
From a very big island.
It is. Yeah. That's right. And I mean, we hopefully we can see you guys again very, very soon. I mean,
yeah, I hope
cards.
Yeah, it's not yet because you are still closed. We cannot go in, and I think you cannot even go out, right, at the moment.
No.
And so we're waiting a bit longer. There's no really. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to make plans coming over now, but we're actually starting the tour, and next year, April something. We rebooked the tour 3 times now, and we decided to start if hopefully the situation cools down a little and gets a little more controllable. Lots of people are vaccinated, so we can maybe start in April next year, and it will take us out till the rest of the year. And after this, we're still there. Hopefully the situation is cool and we can come visiting your part of the world, you know?
The best. I mean, 23, we'll keep the beers cold for you. But that's the tour that's coming up with, you're doing with Hammerfall, right?
Yeah, that's cool because they wanted, I saw the guys, I was visiting them on their last tour because they had their tour started when the situation became more dangerous, but nobody really knew what was going on. So I said hello to them guys, and they had to cancel their tour, you know. And now we decided, you know, why not going out together? It's not going to be easy to go out there because almost every band brought out a product, and almost every band, when there's like a go for the tour next year or whenever it will be happen, it might be a lot of bands coming to your city, you know, and to your town, and then people got to decide which show they're gonna hit, you know. And I think after this virus, after this COVID stuff is done, a lot of people won't have enough money to to go to each and every show, because the business went low, money went a bit low, but there's a lot of bands coming. There's probably 5 times more bands coming to your city than usual because they're all waiting to go out, And so that's why we thought it's cool to do a very good package, rather than going out alone and having loads of that was a good idea because it fits. It somehow fits. The guys are nice. The music fits together. I think it's a cool move.
Yeah, good drinking buddies. Hey,
Yep.
Hey, mate, that'll be good times.
Yeah,
But,
definitely.
But in regards to logistics and planning all that kind of thing, I assume there'd be a lot more involved, even this early on. Like, is it going to be a kind of thing where everyone's going to have to have their shots and prove that they've got their shots before they can head out on the road and things like that? Is that something that's being discussed?
You mean the vaccination and all that
Yes.
stuff?
Yes.
I guess so. I mean, I have it already. And in different parts of the world is, of course, very different. The politics with the vaccination and all that, it goes slowly here and goes faster there. But I guess in the future they won't let you into the town when you don't have the shots. I would think,
Yeah.
It's like we've been to South America, we've been to Manaus, and it's close to the River Negro, which is like a big river, and it's like in the middle of the rainforest. We had to have some different vaccinations you didn't really need in Europe or North America at all, but they wouldn't let you in having that vaccination. We had to get to a specialist a couple of weeks before to get this. I can imagine it will be the same with this vaccination, with this shots you need to have when you travel the world,
Just insane, dude.
in the future. Yeah, and nobody knows how long it's going to be keeping you healthy or something. Maybe you need another shot in a year or in half a year to freshen up. I don't know. But if it's the price for roaming around the globe, I'll be definitely with it.
I'm with you there, man. Absolutely. Well, Marcus, it's been awesome catching up with you. It's been a little while, so it's good to hear your voice. And the new album is out on June 18, and we'll have all the links down the bottom here. Take care, my friend, and get your asses down to Australia as soon as you possibly
All right, I will.
promise me.
Yeah, keep some beers in the fridge for me.
I will, mate. What's your beer of choice? What's the one I'll keep for you?
I don't know. I forgot all the beers names you got there. The taps from the tap is always best.
All right. Well, I'll for you.
All right.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you. My pleasure.